I'm here speaking on behalf of Hydropunk. We are a Bronx-based media collective. We host DIY punk and hip-hop shows and art shows. We also collaborate with NYC Shut It Down, Take Back the Bronx, and more groups to put on that food serve in the Bronx once a month at Hunts Point. So, yay, collaborations! So we host these shows in an effort to show the community in the Bronx that it is possible to be an artist, to be creative, to have your what do you say? Like your creativity, your expression without aiding to gentrification, without partnering with the museums that are also partnering with our real estate developers. So we have that a lot happening in the Bronx right now. The Bronx has historically been neglected when it comes to redlining and the literally burning. And the Bronx is still burning. Right now in Mott Haven, it looks like the fucking Twilight Zone. I'm sorry. Like, we have luxury towers that are 2 blocks away from NYCHA housing, who has not had hot water or heat this past winter. And it's, yes, 2 blocks away, then 2 luxury towers who have been bought and resold from Keith Rubenstein, who's one of the biggest poverty pimps in Mott Haven right now. And they're masking their money into nonprofits, and they're hiding it within these art galleries, like Bronx Art Space. And we have partnerships right now going on with MoMA and Andrew Freeman Home and the new museum using our parks in the Bronx. And so we're here today to connect all of these issues because as we supported Decolonize This Place and all of the groups during the 9-week action and also the action at American Museum of Natural History, we see that this crosses over into all aspects globally and even down to the Bronx. To say that gentrification is directly tied to the prisons being built in the Bronx, directly tied to the environmental shit show that it is with Rush Direct entering Mott Haven and adding to the pollution in the air that we breathe. The Bronx has one of the highest rates of asthma in the country, not even in the state, in the country. And yet we have so many trucks and manufacturing companies now coming into the Bronx to add more. Sorry, it's like.
You got it.
I guess, yeah, Tiara, broke down all the issues that are happening in the Bronx, and Hydropunk is doing a lot to try to bring awareness to these things. We're doing education with people in high schools and different community centers and things like that. I'm from the Bronx, so I have a lot of love for my neighborhood, so that's why I started working with Hydropunk. They do a lot of political work, but they also do, like, they used to do a lot of punk shows, so I recently joined Hydropunk. So I think that is a very powerful tool to, like, reach out to community, to have shows and things like that for people to come together, and then translating that to a political message and translating that to, like, larger political goals. So I'm really happy to work with Hydropunk because they allow me to be anti-capitalist, and we're getting this anti-capitalist revolution going in the Bronx. So,
I just want to say one more thing, is that as we're here, I think about us as like young organizers and young learners. When we learn about abolition, when we're learning about decolonize, and from what our background is in the punk scene, we think about DIY and the efforts of do-it-yourself and to create an alternative society that's outside of the walls, outside of the borders. And that's really connecting to me now as we're here, and I'm happy to share space with all of these groups here. Decolonize This Place, Chinatown Art Brigade, who I've never met in person, but I'm so happy to be here physically. And also Moving Art, just want to bring up, to meet in person brings these connections deeper because, for example, our Instagram account has been locked this past summer. So we have not had access to our social media. So we really want to stress bringing these connections in person and alternative communication, through whether it's through encrypted messaging and emails, but to really in person make these connections because I can't rely on Instagram to do these things anymore. And also I want to thank Decolonize This Place because through their efforts and through their mentorship, as long as Take Back the Bronx and Bronx Social Center, to, yeah, like, honestly, like, I do want to give credit to the workshops and everything that we've been taught on this journey. We were able to lead our first action against the festival that was happening in the Bronx, titled It's the Bronx, but it's not really the Bronx. And like, we know that that was just the beginning. Marco Shalma, who ran that festival, still has his feet in the Bronx with Botanical Garden and with the Bronx Night Market. So while we got that festival shut down, and a lot of people were mad at us, he's still there, and they're still lurking, and they're still hiding behind these projects in the Bronx, and still partnering with developers like Keith Rubenstein, getting free office spaces and getting their permits directly granted through the politicians that just take their money and hide it. So I want to thank Decolonize This Place for mentoring us during that time to lead our first action, and successful action. We got that shit shut down. So I really want to thank everyone, and we're here to learn, we're here to build. So thank you.